Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency market. This time, it's probably not different. And it's easy to get seduced by the idea this time is different. It's going to be the super cycle. This changes everything. Probably not. This time is probably about the same as it always is. And it's kind of a wrong notion to think that markets are going to be so dramatically different because there are certain factors that drive markets that kind of don't change. And those drive cycles in markets. And we'll look at a few of those ideas and how, on the one hand, it's kind of like, oh, this time's not different crap. But on the other hand, it's like, holy shit, this time's not different. What? It's going to be crazy, man. Intergenerational wealth opportunity. Warning, warning. So I want to discuss that with you. Big opportunities, of course, lie out there to be picked up and taken in the cryptocurrency space right now. And I want to try and back some of this up with some charts and some data so we can really dive into that. A few other bits of news and fun stuff to talk about today as well. Obviously, dive into your questions second half of the stream. And a big shout out to iTrust for sponsoring today's live stream. Now, let's take a quick look at the charts here for Bitcoin. Just a quick update before we dive into the main thesis video here. Now, this is quite interesting, what we're seeing right now. Bitcoin had a nice little surge. Now, what's interesting is that this has put us back on a very fascinating price-wise. You see, because we're now trading back above this trend line. We've retaken the 50-day EMA, had a nice bounce off the 100-day EMA. MACD cross still in effect, guys. We're talking about this yesterday, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. Doesn't mean the number's going to go straight up forever. Just an observation. The markets are gaining a little bit of strength. Hopefully, of course, not a dead cat bounce, although we are seeing some volume pick up. That was volume yesterday. Not bad for volume. Not bad for volume. Usually dead cat bounces happen on lower volumes. So we shall see. We shall see. Obviously, we have interesting news that's getting people excited that could be driving the price up. We'll be just discussing that in a few minutes here. But I want to dive into a few ideas. So this from Zero IKEA. He says, 3 days until the Bitcoin monthly close. The current monthly candle presents almost no body within two long wicks in key price areas, which is known as the Darth Maul pattern. Basically, the markets are stuck in a stalemate, a moment of extreme indecision. Not super surprising for the Bitcoin ETF approval month, I guess. But if we want the uptrend to continue, we need to see more strength build. Ideally into a monthly close, not necessary, of course, but ideally into a monthly close. Still have, of course, a lot of potential to go down as well. So we can't forget about that. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow in the markets. All we can do is think, what are most probable scenarios? What are the risk rewards of what we're looking at right now? What's the risk of buying Bitcoin today, for example? It drops 25, 30%. Reward potential, it's going up hundreds of percent. Now, of course, you will get a bit more if you buy lower, but then you risk being sidelined. And you're being sidelined at a very interesting time because this time is probably not different. Here's an interesting chart from CryptoCon. So this is the halving cycle theory, which is something we discussed at length, the 4-year cycles in crypto, although very fascinatingly, Satoshi, probably more of a genius than we even give him credit for, because the Bitcoin 4-year cycles line up fantastically with 4-year credit cycles, 4-year liquidity cycles, which we just had a bottom of the 4-year liquidity cycle back in late 2022. I think October 2022 is when we bottomed. Late October, early November is when China started pumping liquidity. Then Japan started pumping liquidity. And the market started getting sloshy again. And of course, we already see big liquidity moving back into the market. But then here's our 4-year cycle. And it's very, very interesting. So if our 4-year cycle theory generally holds true, there's going to always be some variations in that, but let's just say it generally holds true, then this is what we can approximately expect, which is very, very interesting, by the way. So you can see back here, let's just look back just for some reference. We can see back here, November 28th, 2018. That's the bottom. That's the bottom. That's very fascinating because this theory is held so well true, because the actual bottom came in December 3rd, December 4th, something like that. Maybe it was even late November. I can't exactly remember, but it was definitely right around then. I remember I remember I was going to Australia with my wife, and we were doing our little Bitcoin experiment where we were traveling around Australia for 3 days, like a 72-hour challenge. Can we survive 72 hours in Australia on Bitcoin? And actually, we did pretty well. We paid for our tickets. We paid for all kinds of stuff, our car and accommodation and some restaurants and stuff. I don't know if those little towns are still adopting Bitcoin like that. But anyway, I digress. I remember it so clearly because Bitcoin was worth very, very little at the time. I was like, oh, every time we were spending Bitcoin, I was like, this is worth so much more in the future. This is worth so much more in the future. Just spend and replace, Lark, spend and replace. But still. Anyway, I digress. But that was the bottom. That was the bottom, right? Now, November 28th, 2020, that's when markets really started to cook again. November 28th, 2021, approximately the market top came in 3 or 4 weeks earlier. Okay. November 28th, 2022. It's just fascinating, isn't it? Just absorb this information because it's super interesting. November 28th, 2022. Guess what? That was the bottom, basically. Okay. FTX collapsed on what? November 9th, something like this. You might say, well, hey, hold on a second. How is it possible that, this 4-year cycle can predict FTX collapsing? It can't. Obviously, it can't, right? It's not the point. The point is that we go through leverage up and leverage down, and these cycles generally play out over a 4-year period as liquidity gets drained out of markets and stuff like that. And you have to keep in mind that the FTX thing basically happened at the bottom of global liquidity too. There's a lot of interesting factors that come into play. FTX, obviously, a bit of a wild card, but if it wasn't that, it would have been something else. If you go back in years, we had Mt. Gox and all this other stuff, and these dates line up very interestingly. When markets start breaking, they really break. And prices going down, as they do when liquidity cycles go down, break markets. They crush markets. They destroy things. That's the nature of things. So these giant tsunami waves that if you ride the peak of them, man, you can really ride them, man. But what you don't want to do on these wild tsunami waves, you don't want to ride them down to the bottom, because then the wave breaks on top of you and you get smashed into the coral reef and you die. Okay? Not cool. Not cool. Or you cling on to dear life on the coral reef for 2 years until the wave picks you back up, pushes you up again, and you drag all your shitcoin bags with you. Anyway, we're getting a bit deep here, guys. Now, where are we right now? November 28th, 2023. That was the yellow on here, and that's kind of the recovery stage when we start seeing markets trending back upwards. Then, of course, we see the Bitcoin halving. We are here right now, currently, by the way. November 28th, 2024, that'll likely be a very exciting time in the market. Of course, we'll see what actually happens. It'll likely be a very exciting time in the market. November 28th, 2020 was when Bitcoin was upper teens. So 18, 19,000. I think we might have already tested $20,000 one time. Then breaking out to new highs by the end of the year. So December, we saw new highs coming in. Now, is it going to take that long for new highs to form up for Bitcoin? Hard to say. Maybe with the Bitcoin ETFs, we'll see enough demand that new highs get pushed before that. Maybe not. Again, we can see a little variation between a few months, but the general idea of the cycles has been ringing very true. Then November 28th, 2025, which also generally fits in. There's a whole theory, by the way, that markets top within 3 to 4 weeks on either side, either a month earlier or a month later of November 28th on the 4th year of the cycle. So the year after the Bitcoin halving, or however you want to put it. Interesting. So November 28th, 2025, that's when probably markets will be peaking within a month on either side. And we discussed this a bit in the other day in our video where we talked about you basically have 9 months left to buy before really the best opportunities have passed. And it's not to say there won't be opportunities in 2025, because obviously there will be. There'll be new things to ape into, new listings that'll pump up like crazy and stuff like that. But for the most part, you're going to want to have your bags packed by that point. The accumulation period will come to an end. There's not really a point to dollar cost average up through the top of the market and then back down. Now, look, obviously, if you're playing a long-term game in Bitcoin, that's maybe a bit different, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about stuff like all these altcoin bags, which we have. Man, you don't need to keep buying those, because the risk reward starts dropping exponentially as we start reaching new high prices for Bitcoin. Altcoin prices will start reaching new highs. And whereas there's not as much reward left, you will need to pack your bags earlier. Okay. again, new listings, new token sales, new airdrops, whatever. Sure, there's always gonna be ways to make money on new stuff. But for the most part, you're not gonna want to be buying very much in 2025. That's the year of selling. That's the year of selling. And again, maybe things have a slight variation. It comes a bit earlier, it comes a bit later. We don't know. We don't know how the future is going to play out. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. We're just talking about cycles and how cycles have worked in the markets before. Okay? Keep that very, very clear. Now, this would then predict a November 28th, 2026 market bottom. So 2026, probably going to be a bad year in markets. Okay? Be ready for that. 2027, 2028, things start picking back up. Rinse and repeat. Do this every 4 years for the next couple decades of your life and buy an island somewhere, leave your kids intergenerational wealth, and they'll, name a hospital after you or something, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, pretty interesting idea. Now, if this time is not different, if we follow the cycle, here's some interesting things as well. So Ask Crypto Wealth shared this. This is the total 2. So the total 2 is basically the total, I think total 3, I think. Anyway, but the market cap for all crypto altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it just had a monster monthly retest of a key area. So that's super fascinating. As he says, one line to rule them all. The fear was bought. That is a relatively bullish looking candle, right? We came all the way down here and market pushed it right back up. There's a lot of buying pressure for altcoins because people know that's where the money's going to be made. Also, this one here from Dentoshi, she pointed out, happy 3-day EMA cross for those who celebrate. As far as data goes, this EMA on the total 2. So this is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. It's total 2, total 3 is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anyway, for the total 2, she says this has been the true confirmation of a bull run after we finish our current leg of drawdown. So you can see on this chart here, beautiful chart, by the way. Look at this. We've had just this downtrend all of 2023. That basically this has been downtrending. We only started uptrend a little bit in November on this. Now we have the crossover. That crossover, this sets you up for like a year and a half, 18-month, 24-month crazy time markets. Okay. Again, we're just looking at charts, technicals. Just because things have been this way in the past doesn't mean it'll be that way in the future. All that stuff, obviously, keep in mind, right? A quick shout out to today's sponsor, and that is, of course, iTrust. Look, guys, if you are trading crypto and you want to do so in a tax-free fashion, even for part of your bag, right? You might want to look into iTrust Capital. They offer individual retirement accounts that offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the top coins. You got Dogecoin, you got Polkadot, all kinds of other fun stuff in here. You can do physical gold and silver with their partner Kitco, the real deal stuff. By the way, you can also do in-kind withdrawals, means you can actually take your crypto out and put it in your wallet at some point in the future if you want to do that. Okay, so that's pretty damn cool. If you use the link down below, you'll get a $100 funding bonus. Thanks to the guys, of course, at iTrust for arranging that for you. Now, look, iTrust, they're the biggest in the game when it comes to these self-directed IRAs. You could trade 1,000 times within the wrapping of this IRA structure and never once have a taxable event, which is pretty crazy. They've got the biggest assets under management, the most volume of any IRA player in the crypto space. And now what you think, maybe let's get a Bitcoin ETF. Well, you can do that too, obviously. But a Bitcoin ETF only trades Monday to Friday, excluding holidays during business hours. Crypto is a 365-day-a-year market. And if you want to go beyond Bitcoin, you're going to need something else. And again, iTrust got you covered. Big range of altcoins, 365 days a year, 24/7 markets. So check it out. Link in the description. Thanks again to iTrust for sponsoring today's video. So let's talk a little about the Bitcoin ETF, and we're going to crack into your questions here. Crack open a Perrier, get crazy. It's from James Seifert, the Bloomberg ETF analyst. Invesco and Galaxy are cutting the long-term fee on their Bitcoin ETF from 39 basis points down to 25. They have a fee waiver for the first to 0% for the first 6 months or first $5 billion in assets as well. Competition's heating up. People want market share. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. I dig it. Which means that the competition is really, really heating up. James also pointing out 197 million out of GBTC, so the grayscale Bitcoin, almost 200 million left today, but that's slowing. Last week we had $500 million days. This week it's slowing down, $200 million days. Next week, maybe it's $100 million days. Week after me is $50 million days. The bleeding is slowing. The markets are recovering. We had our sell-off post Bitcoin ETF. Now things are looking a little more optimistic. Always danger in markets. Stay frosty, okay? Don't get too seduced by the green candles. The advertising is started, by the way. This is Franklin Templeton's ad. They have a spot Bitcoin ETF ad on Google now. Google has allowed for these mega players. Of course, why not? Because, BlackRock has this majority, or not majority, but a gigantic share of the stocks that they own on behalf of your customers. But they use the voting rights, and they just put in the phone call and say, hey, Google, we need to advertise a Bitcoin ETF, sort this crap out. And it's sorted just like that. Amazing, isn't it? Power. Larry Fink, the man, the beast, the guy who's got way too much damn power. Anyway, we are now seeing this on Google. That's crazy. I mean, come on. It's going to start happening, guys. It's going to be huge. Also, Harvest Fund, a $230 billion asset manager in Hong Kong, officially filing for a Bitcoin ETF. The Chinese money is coming. The Chinese money is coming, guys. China does not want to be left out on this party. They know that their big money people want Bitcoin. Hong Kong people want Bitcoin. It's not going to stop. The gates have been opened. We're going to see so much money flooding in. And again, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, hey, yeah, internet dude. And that's why this time is different, because all this money is going to come in from Hong Kong and from BlackRock and all this stuff. But that's just the spark. It's the spark that starts the cycle. If you go back to 2020, I heard the exact same thing when MicroStrategy started buying. It's going to be different this time. It's a super cycle. Every corporation in the world is going to buy Bitcoin now because MicroStrategy, and then Block did, and then Tesla did, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Yeah. And then it didn't, did it? Bitcoin ETFs will be pretty similar, in my opinion. We're going to see huge money flood in. It's going to push prices up, push the entire market up. But you guys do remember, right? Like, it's not a one-way street. If you buy a Bitcoin ETF with BlackRock today and the price goes up to $200,000, you can sell it. And then BlackRock has to sell the Bitcoin on your behalf. You know that's how it works, right? And some people, of course, are going to buy that Bitcoin and hold it there for decades. Some ETFs will add Bitcoin and they're going to hold it there for decades. How much of that Bitcoin is going to be like that? Is it going to be 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%? Don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out when things start falling apart and everybody starts rushing for the exit gates, because that's what happens. That's what happens, man. Holy cow. Hey, real quick note here too on two interesting things. This is Picasso. Not currently using it. Actually don't have much Solana. It's already kind of put into different DeFi farms and stuff like that. But I might have to go buy 10 Solana or something now just to put it into Picasso, which is the first restaking protocol on Solana. Look, guys, new protocol. Be careful, right? If I were to ape some money on there, it'd only be like, seriously, only be like 10 Solana. Like, not like crazy game-changing money or anything, but if there's an airdrop or something, I'm going to be ready for that, okay? You might see then others building on top of the restaking protocol, like we do with Ethereum, and you have like EtherFi and Kelp and PlayStack and Renzo and whatever else. But this first one, so pretty cool. Pretty cool. New stuff coming to Solana. Solana is going to get the same kind of crazy Ponzi games that Ethereum's got going on. Hey, new one as well, new airdrop coming up. We'll let you guys know about in advance. By the way, I'm a private sale investor in Nibiru, just so you're aware. But this is about an airdrop, free airdrop. You can check it out. February 7th is when they're going to announce all the details about that airdrop, so you can get involved then. Again, it'll be a free airdrop, so you can check it out if you want to. Obviously, as always, all portfolio disclosures about my current holdings, my venture investments, risk disclosures as well down below in the description, where you can find that information. But hey, hot new one coming out. People will probably be talking about that quite a bit pretty soon, so you heard it here first. Check it out. Okay, so let's crack. Let's do it, guys. It's time. It's time. Let's do it. Let's do it. Crack open a Perrier. Oh, yeah. Let's go. It's actually pretty hot in here in the studio. I don't run my AC while we're recording because it just makes a bit of sound in the background. Pure sound. So it gets a bit spicy in here sometimes. Anyway, Mr. Halo's on Perrier sponsorship time. I'll take some free Perrier if you want to send it to me. Anyway, jokes aside, let's hop into this. Let's talk. Let us discuss crypto. What have you got on your minds today? A lot of people talk about ICP. I know, guys. I know. There's so many coins to keep up with. I have no idea how. Nobody can keep up with what's going on out there. It's crazy. Alchemist. Let's talk about your alcohol problem. I know, man. I know. No, it's actually funny. I've had a little bit of wine over the holidays, but I haven't had a single drink since maybe the 28th of December or something. Like, didn't even drink on New Year's. Me and my wife hanging out, put the kids to sleep early, all that kind of fun kind of stuff. Yeah. I do enjoy a nice glass of wine once in a while, good beer once in a while, but seems to be farther and farther between these days. Plus, doesn't help, trying to stay in good shape and then drinking, 2,000 calories of alcohol at the weekend and then waking up and binging on food all day. Because I feel like I'm at the age now where I have 3 or 4 drinks the next day. I'm just like, not a kid anymore. Anyway, we're getting off track here. Let's talk crypto. Alchemist. I know you're just joking, man. I know. I love it. What are we up to here? Let's hear about when Timothy Fields. So that is the new meme coin. As we mentioned yesterday on the stream, you had 6 hours left to claim it or something like that. I hope that you did. Now, look, it's not worth crazy money. Last I checked, it was a $70 airdrop or something like that. But hey, $70, man. That's free money. Go claim it. Well, I guess you can't claim it anymore, but if you did claim it, just go and, free dinner or something like that. Why not? Why not, man? Long-term prospect. I mean, I don't know. I'm not super big on the meme coin game, but meme coins make money. I mid-curved meme coins for a very, very long time. And the reality of meme coins is that a lot of them are crap and a lot of them are really risky, and you're not really buying utility. But when you're buying a meme coin, what you're buying is basically a cultural financial product. If you want to have an investment on the culture of the internet, the culture of a particular blockchain, then that's a meme coin. And cultures and memes are some of those powerful things in the internet, in the world. So I'm going to try not to mid-curve these things in the future. Now, I still have my WEN. I haven't sold it. It's only worth $60. Well, whatever. Hey, if it goes up 10x, and that's $600, then maybe I'll sell it. No, take the wife out for a nice dinner or something. Okay. Paul says, I want the picture behind you. Both of these pictures from Josie Bellini, josie.io, josie.io. I don't know if she's selling prints anymore or not, especially these ones. These are some of her older releases, but hey, always check it and find out. Okay. Calvin, should I keep investing in Ethereum or start putting in Sol? I can't tell you what to do with your money, but it's an interesting question. I want to expand on that a little bit. So Ethereum versus Solana. Look, Solana right now, I don't think anybody can deny it. Solana is getting a huge amount of attention, a huge amount of interest. All the things we're seeing launching. I mean, the Jupiter airdrop is going to be massive. We have new meme coins launching. That's the meme coin casino right now over on Solana. So many meme coins have launched there. So many people made so much money off Solana meme coins. We're starting to see actual real interesting stuff being launched on Solana too, of course. We have cool games that have come out over there. We have great DeFi happening over there. Lots of stuff happening. We have liquid staking protocols like Jito and Marinade. We have now restaking going on, which builds a nice little house cards like Ethereum's built. Price-wise, Solana probably has more potential for gains. Now, that's it might perform twice as much as Ethereum, for example, just as an example. So there's that to consider. I think Solana ecosystem plays are probably going to be a lot hotter because they're a lot more accessible to retail. Once the bull market gets cooking, Ethereum fees go back up to $50 for a Uniswap swap, $200 on a bad day. I mean, literally, I remember last cycle, there were days when I paid $150 or something for a Uniswap swap because you had to, and it sucks. Who wants to do that? Okay, you're cashing out thousands of dollars of coins, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. If you want to make these markets accessible for regular people, you got to have accessible fees, which Ethereum simply does not have. Now, Ethereum's been struggling. I think the Ethereum ETF, when we start getting that buzz really building up, that'll take off. We have more layer 2 stimulus coming in the form of ZK Sync and Linea and Scroll and Starknet and whatever else is going on out there. We'll have more money coming into the Ethereum ecosystem as well. Now, I'm not buying any more Ethereum. Yeah, and I'll be selling my Ethereum at the end of the cycle, as we discussed a few times before. And generally, I'm not staking my Ethereum, with an asterisk that I have been using, I don't know, like 10% of my Ethereum or something like that to do a few different little things on chain, to do, for example, some farming, help farm the Manta airdrop with some Ethereum. And right now I've been redeploying some Ethereum in particular, into these different eigenlayer restaking things. I got a video coming for that for you guys in a couple days here, but basically the eigenlayer is a restaking protocol. A giant rehypothecation house of cards is being built on top of Ethereum. That's probably going to have disastrous results when the bear market comes, but that's like 18 months away. But between now and then, we get to make money. Worry about that later. Yeah, but if you go, for example, to EtherFi, ETHER.fi, or to Kelp, again, make sure you guys are verifying the links, not clicking on scam links, make sure you get the right websites. But if you stake, for example, a couple of Ethereum in each of those protocols, or ClayStack, they're doing it as well. So those are 3 airdrop potentials. Well, they're actually all going to do airdrops, confirmed. So you get the airdrops for ClayStack, EtherFi, and Kelp. But you also get the eigenlayer air stack, because they take your ETH and then restake it. So many layers. This crap's crazy, man. It's crazy. What do we do? What are we doing? What are we doing in crypto? It's wild. Anyway, look, there's opportunities in both places. Ethereum, I think, right now is not capturing that broader imagination of the market like Solana is. And Solana, just from a market cap perspective, has more gains potential. Okay, where are we up to? Mr. Hale's on. Let's talk about ICP on every stream. Yes, this is now the ICP channel. No, I know, guys. I know somebody said the other day, like, you're gatekeeping ICP. I just don't know anything about it, man. It's hard to keep up with all the coins. I hope that your coin does really well, though. Okay, that's always my thought. Well, I don't care what coin you're invested in. I hope it does really well and make lots of money. Okay. Let's find another good question here. Here we go. Shady Luke made some big gains on meme coins. Congratulations, man. I love to hear that. The cool thing is that I can buy a ton more on Solana. Yeah, that's absolutely right. See, that's the thing with meme coins. With meme coins, you don't need to buy a lot to make a lot. So if you go and put $50 in 5 different meme coins, 4 of them are probably going to go 0. One's probably going to do like a 50x and make some money. But to do that on Ethereum, you'd probably have to spend $200 in fees in order to get your $250 of meme coins. It makes it basically impossible. So it's nice we have Solana, and that gives people the ability to do smaller transactions at scale. Aha. How important is Chainlink? Is there technology needed, or is there something similar to Chainlink that has higher potential? Look, Chainlink's very important. It's probably one of the most important pieces of infrastructure in crypto right now. Now, there are, of course, competitors. Now, their technology is needed. The Oracle infrastructure is needed. The CCIP infrastructure is going to be massive in bringing real-world assets on chain and helping move things across multiple blockchains. So let's get that straight. Now, are there other players doing something similar? I mean, look, there's lots of other oracles out there. There's, what do we have? Pith on Solana. We have Supra oracles coming out soon. API 3, other stuff. So there's lots of things in the oracle space. Chainlink is way ahead the leader of everybody by far. Pith, I think, is probably number 2. I'm not super up to date on all the oracle competitors and how many plugins they have or not. Okay, guys, but Chainlink is by and far the leader. And when it comes to cross-chain asset transfers, CCIP technology is very interesting. I think it'll be a primary use by big firms, big financial institutions. There are other players working in cross-chain asset transfers and all kinds of stuff like this. Okay, but CCIP is kind of like the next level of all this. So yeah, Chainlink's a beast. Obviously, I got a bag. I'm biased. Planning on selling mine. I don't know, $140 or something like that, right? But yeah, it's important. But there are competitors. If you're really in like just the Oracle thing, for I'm just big on Oracles, man. I got to get my price data right, and I'm big on Oracles. I think it's a massive use case. There's lower cap market competitors that may have bigger gains than Chainlink this cycle. Okay, don't believe the Chainlink moon boys who are like it's going to like $20,000 or $10,000. I think I saw somebody saying $5,000. Like, actually saw that. I don't think I've ever seen a $20,000 one, but like, man, $5,000, like that's irrationally bullish if you ask me. And those are the kind of price predictions that'll come out when Chainlink is like $140 or $150, which will probably be somewhere near the market top. And then those kind of crazy predictions coming out, everybody holds, hoping that it goes up to $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever, and then it goes back down to $40 because it's the bear market. Okay, where are we up to now? Let's find one or two more good questions here. Do the dishes. First Bitcoin bought in 2017. First altcoins also bought in 2017. My first altcoins, by the way, were XRP, BYBIT, and NEM. Shout out if you know what BYBIT and NEM are. Those were the hot things back in 2017, man. NEM went from, I don't know, when I started buying NEM, a few cents to $2. Crazy. BYBIT went just like Burj Khalifa straight up, man. It was crazy. XRP went pretty crazy too, but I didn't actually hold any of those for that crazy gains. I actually held the NEM actually. Held the NEM up and then back down and sold it for a profit, but not for very much profit. Not like I could have sold it for. And the XRP, I fudded myself out of early. I bought it like 20 cents and sold it like 18 cents. Like, it's gotta go. You noob stuff, right? Anyway, there you go. Okay, Solid S says, how much can a 50K portfolio in the top 50 alts make in a bull run approximately? It's an interesting question because it depends what top 50. If we're taking $1,000 and putting it at all top 50 coins, I'm not even sure that's a good idea or strategy. I'm not financial advice, of course, to do whatever you want with your money, but just in Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, you're probably looking at maybe 3 to 5x gains, something like that. If you are looking a little bit farther down, if you go from like 20 to 50, relatively stable, high market cap projects that probably have good potential, 10 to 20x gains would be my guess between now and peak price. Now, peak price, you're probably not going to catch, so maybe you get a 10x out of it. You can turn that 50K into 500K. We're just throwing numbers around here, okay? But realistically, if you want to have quote unquote safer gains, nothing's safe in crypto, everything's a giant risk and everybody loses all their money all the time. But if you want to have a bit of a safer play, then that with higher gains potential, look at like 20 to 50 on the market cap chart, and you'll probably see some 10 to 20x gainers there. So that's my thought. But you don't need to spread it across all 50 coins. I don't know if that was your intention or not, but you're just creating chaos for yourself. You don't need to do that. There's no reason to do that. Daniel, do some research on it if everyone's talking about it. I don't understand hesitation. You're just writing off another coin. I guess you're talking about ICP. I see a few people in here talking about ICP. Guys, look. Again, I appreciate that you guys love ICP, and I'm not hating on you at all. All right. Here's the reality. You don't need to be in every single coin to make money. You don't need to know about every single coin in order to make money in this market. I've done very well not knowing about every single blockchain in existence. And look, I'm not against ICP. Okay. I'm not. Maybe we'll talk about it one of these days. Maybe we'll do a deep dive on it one of these days. I don't know, but it's not top of my list of priorities, things to do. Okay. And I hope that your coin makes lots of money. I really, really do. I hope that you guys are absolutely right. And I should have taken everything, gone all in on ICP and made, the one coin that makes the absolute most gains of everything in the market. Look, I hope it does fantastically for you, okay? But I can't talk about every coin, guys. That's just what it comes down to. All right. You could easily be throwing out the names of 35 or 40 or 50 or 100 other blockchains that are also technologically interesting and have big backers and whatever else going on, but you can't talk about every coin. Okay, guys. Again, I hope that you guys absolutely slay it on that. Okay. Do, 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 do. Stacey says the NFT prints on Lark's wall are sold out. Ah, there you go. They're sold out. Can't even buy these prints anymore. We have to. No, I love them so much. I guess I have to do a charity auction one day with them or something. No, I want to keep them. I like them. They're my favorite. My background for the studio. Anyway, but yeah, Josie does some cool stuff. Keep an eye on her. Follow her on social media. She might do some other print releases, or she does some pretty cool stuff overall. So she might do some other stuff in the future. You guys might be able to get into. Okay, one or two more. We're gonna finish up. Okay, one or two more. We'll finish up. What effect will crypto have on a cashless society? It's a can of worms, isn't it? Look, the CBDC thing is a real danger because we know how the governments are. We know what they do. We know how they behave. We know we can't trust them. We know if we give them the tools to screw us over, they're going to screw us over very quickly. It's what they do. They can't help themselves. It reminds me of the parable of the frog and the scorpion. You know this one? I think it's an old Aesop's Greek myth. Anyway, you've got the frog and the scorpion, and they're sitting there on the side of a riverbank. And the scorpion needs to go to the other side of the river. And the frog says, well, I'll take you across, but don't sting me. Scorpion says, okay, sure. Hops on the back of the frog. They get halfway across the river, and the scorpion starts stinging the frog, and they both die in the river. And the frog's like, why would you do this? And the scorpion says, well, it's because I'm a scorpion. Anyway, that's my thought on CBDCs. We're the frogs, guys, and they're the scorpions, all right? Anyway, crypto and a cashless society is going to be very important. I worry about them doxing wallets and the push for them to know every single thing you do online. It's going to really put a big emphasis on privacy coins, things like Monero. In a certain future, we'll probably trade at massive premiums because it's going to be the only free money left on the planet. Bitcoin's totally traceable on chain. So they're pushing more and more for a situation where when you withdraw money to your Bitcoin wallet, they're going to know who you are. When you send it to another wallet, they're going to know who that person is. And when that person sends it to someone else or back to an exchange, they're going to know. They're going to know. Most of this is already trackable on chain anyway, thanks to chain analysis, which is, yeah, not much anonymity left on chain these days. So that then becomes a problem if they know that where your Bitcoin is, what you're doing with it, who you give it to. If you give it to the wrong person, then you might be in trouble. Of course, they can't freeze your Bitcoin. You can still take your Bitcoin across, go to another country, flee, said something bad on Twitter. They're coming after you. Get on a plane, go, take your Bitcoin with you, have freedom. So it's still going to be that, okay? Last one, Bitcoin layer 2s. I think Bitcoin layer 2s will be a hot topic. Bitcoin BRC20 tokens, also a very hot topic, by the way. But the whole Bitcoin layer 2 space, there's some players coming up. Some of them are better than others. We've been looking at a few of them. There's something left to be desired, I guess, from some of the current solutions I've seen in terms of the newer stuff that's coming up. Obviously, we have like Bitcoin Lightning Network and stuff, which is a nice, more neutral piece of technology. It's been around for quite a while. We have Blockstream's Liquid, which I've never really been a fan of for a variety of reasons, primarily because of Blockstream. But hey, Bitcoin layer 2 is going to be a hot topic. So without a doubt, what's not to love about it? Doing stuff on Bitcoin, isn't that what we've all wanted for a long time? So I think we'll see a lot of excitement build around that stuff when we start getting really, really high quality launches coming out, and then high quality DeFi stuff being built on Bitcoin layer 2. It'll be pretty interesting. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.